What is up, everybody? Welcome to Ginger Runner Live episode. Oh man, what episode is it? I think it's 17. We are already in the upper teens, which is amazing. Tonight, I'm really excited about tonight's show. We are talking to ultramarathon runners extraordinaire, badass adventure runners extraordinaire, filmmakers extraordinaire, just all around rad dudes. Jeremy Wolf and Jason Schlarb are joining us on the show to talk about their new film, Around Patagonia, which is available now on Vimeo for rental or for download. And we're even going to be giving away some downloads during the show, so you guys will want to stick around and watch, and maybe you could win yourself. So yeah, stick around, guys. Here we go. Ginger Runner Live, episode number 17. Let's do this. Ginger Runner. Yes, awesome. You guys already got my introduction at the beginning of the show, but now I need to introduce the guys themselves. These guys are badasses. I've already used so many adjectives to describe them that I don't know if there's any left. I'll start off with Mr. Jeremy Wolf. Jeremy, thanks for joining us, dude. How you doing?
Hey, man. Doing really good. Thanks for having us on the show, and yeah, we're excited to talk about Around Patagonia and Jason and I's long history of running together with you.
Yeah, you guys are like best friends. You're obviously in two different states right now. Where are you coming from, Jeremy?
I'm in Missoula, Montana.
Missoula, Montana. And then joining us as well, Mr. Jason Schlarb. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Glad to be on the show.
Hey, where are you coming to us from? You either live in a palace or what's going on?
What? I would be coming right from my little trailer camper kind of thing, but the Wi-Fi is not so great in the wilderness. I'm at a library at Pagosa Springs right now in Colorado.
That's awesome.
Yeah, southwest corner in the San Juan's my favorite place.
So yeah, Jeremy and I were talking a little bit before the show. You're in the middle of adventuring, essentially, like living out of a camper and out of your truck, traveling and finding epic trails to run. Is that essentially it?
That's what we've been doing for about 2 months now. After taking off from Missoula April 2nd, doing some racing, and then also just finding great places to run in the mountains and having fun and hanging out with family and running with some friends that I tag up with along the road. It's pretty awesome.
You live the life. You honestly live. Both of you guys, after watching your films, it's like you guys live the life that every adventurer would want to live. It's amazing. And Jeremy, I have to shout out your wall behind you. You're giving mine a run for its money. I mean, I shouldn't even say run for its money. You win. I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea to overdo the host, so I might get in trouble later for making you look bad.
Yeah, you might want to take those down. Let's be honest. I want to take those down.
But I don't have the frames, so you got me on that.
Yeah, I've run 8 races, and I have all the other bibs over there. I just wanted to keep it classy. Tonight, I'm actually going to enjoy a beer. I can't even believe it. I'm going to enjoy beer. The first time on this show, ever. It's a Sierra Nevada, real easy beer. It was just happened to be in my fridge, so I'm going to be drinking this. Are either of you guys partaking? I'm assuming, Schlarb, you're not.
Oh, hey, why would you assume that, man? I've got some great Trader Joe's juice. You know, there might be a little vodka in here. I'm not sure. We'll maybe loosen me up for the show.
I love that juice. Good choice.
Nice.
And Jeremy?
Yeah, we're going for the pop top variety here. This is a cold smoke, straight from the mountains and fresh water here in Missoula. So cold smoke, kind of like the light fluffy powder we get here during ski season, which just ended like a week ago. So now it's
which is crazy. Yeah, which is crazy. Well, cheers to all of us then. And those of you who are watching live, what are you partaking in? Let us know in the chat room. And before we start getting into the meat and potatoes, if you have any questions during the live show, those of you who are watching live, let us know in the chat room. Just go to the YouTube link if you're probably already there if you're watching this live, and just join us in the chat room. During the course of the show, I'll be checking in there throughout and asking questions as they pop up. If we somehow miss them, we'll answer them in the post show. We like to go through all the comments in the post show. Great. Let's get into this. Obviously, Jeremy and Schlarb are amazing runners. For those of you who don't follow them, they race all sorts of ultras around the world, not just in the U.S. But when Jeremy reached out to me a couple of weeks ago, I'm already familiar with these guys because I've already been watching their videos on Vimeo. If you haven't, go do it now. There's a couple. Just open a new tab. Don't leave the show. Just go open a new tab and go check them out. We'll start with their first video. Now, is this the first Schlarb Wolf production video, the Dolomites, the opening the route? Was this the first one you guys did together in conjunction?
Yeah, that was our first shot at making a video, and that was actually just about a year ago today. I think we were gone June 9th through the 14th in the Dolomites, and we just did GoPro style, so mount on the head, carrying the hand, wherever it was, and just capturing an awesome kind of 5-day hut-to-hut route through the Dolomites in some really snowy early season conditions. So total adventure, so it was really easy just to capture some exciting film and put together a little 5-minute highlight video capturing the trip. And so that kind of got us jazzed to maybe go launch and do another adventure to Patagonia, which we did this January, and go a little more professional on it too.
Yeah, I will have to say that you watch these two videos, and the opening the route is amazing. Like, you watch some of the routes that you guys took, and obviously you were some of the first people to travel some of these routes that season. Going between refugios and them telling you can't continue, it's closed. You're like, we're gonna keep going anyways. So it's obvious that you guys have this sense of adventure and this sense of challenge. So where did the idea come up to travel to Patagonia, and why Patagonia in this particular case? Schlarb?
Well, Patagonia has been a long-time goal for both of us. We've been traveling and exploring and having fun doing these kind of adventures, running a bit, but also climbing and trekking and backpacking. And we went down to Bolivia and Peru several years before, and Patagonia was just kind of out of reach because it's really tough to get to. It takes a lot of time, and it's also really kind of expensive. It's a remote, sexy kind of place. So once we did the Dolomite video, and we said, you know what, let's see if we can get some sponsorship funding and make this thing more of a reality. That kind of opened the window to something like Patagonia.
Gotcha. In my mind, I would think that there's a lot of logistics that have to go into a trip to Patagonia. Tell me a little bit about the setup to traveling there. I mean, did you have to go through a lot of steps to figure out logistics of which trail you were going to run, or did the OW trail just stick out to you in general, or tell me a little bit about that process, Jeremy?
Yeah, Jason did a lot of research kind of early on, and was talking to Buzz Burrell as well, because Buzz had done a lot of Ultimate Directions, had done a lot of running down there, and actually had the FKT on the O circuit a few years ago. So I think he provided a lot of beta on what routes to go. And the key thing that we learned from doing the Dolomite style is that we needed just to carry our lightweight. We had some UD packs where we just basically had a change of clothing, and so that way, at night when we arrived at the refugios, they had awesome dinners for us set up. And then they had bunk beds with bags, so we could just go sleep at night, and then get up in the morning, shower there too, get up in the morning, have breakfast, and then we could rock and roll on the trails the next day. So we had to go somewhere with a similar type of setup with refugios, and so Torres del Paine and O&W circuit, 76 miles, they had about 4 or 5 refugios set up where we could kind of travel in the same style.
That's cool.
5-0.
Jason Schlarb is either next to a police officer or a UFO.
Maybe both. Maybe both.
One of the benefits of being outside.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about the OW, when we went to the Dolomites, we had the partially luck, but also we wanted the sexy idea of running a point-to-point route. And that was awesome. It was really fun. It was really, really cool. And when we were looking at ideas for Patagonia, we were like, hey, let's do this. Let's go 150 miles straight across something. But because Patagonia is so dang remote, the logistics, the trail conditions, the support, the even knowledge of what trails are open, which ones are like washed out, there's no towns anywhere. Our eyes kind of diverted over, thanks to like Jeremy said, to Buzz and the other people, and we kind of, wow, there's this beautiful natural loop around one of their country's treasures, the National Park Torres del Paine. So that's kind of how we got there a little bit too. we had ideas of doing something crazy where we get some like mules to come in and give us some food, right? But man, we might not be here today if we went that route, I think.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it in the film, and you get that point across that it is remote. You guys are definitely at the edge of the world there. Were there challenges that you faced on the journey down, or even while you were there, that were unexpected, that maybe threw you guys for a loop and kind of changed plans of what you needed to do, or anything like that?
Go for it, man. I got a big one.
The big one for us was, we went both to Argentina and Chile, and we wanted to go to see Fitzroy and some of the good stuff over there in Argentina. And while we were driving the 5 hours in the middle of nowhere, we accidentally, here comes a motorcycle, sorry. We accidentally blew through the border and got to the border crossing in Argentina, and the guy spoke no English. They were like, it was like a Army or Air Force Argentine military guy that had no clue what English was, and so we ended up finding somebody else that came in that could speak English. He says, you guys, you didn't go through the regular border. You need to also pay for this I can't even say it. Reciprocity. And so we ended up spending 3, 4, 5 hours figuring this out, getting a special permit online at the Chilean border that took forever and cost hundreds of dollars. And so, I mean, that was a little bit sketchy, but, also like just having to carry a gas can in the car and being told, if you don't stop here, you're going to run out of gas. Like, we only had like one option for gasoline to get to one place to the next. So there's some long stretches with absolutely nothing, which was really pretty cool. We also just stopped and pulled over and camped wherever the heck we wanted because there's nobody there.
Yeah. What about you, Jeremy? Anything particular, or is that?
Yeah, those were big snafus. Another really huge one for our trip, thing we weren't expecting, is that they told us we weren't allowed to run in the park in Torres del Paine. So we were.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the first day I was running, we were up to Lago Torre, and we're just kind of, and it's high season down there. We're January, so it's their summertime, so we're passing quite a few people on the trail, being polite, saying we're coming by, and then one guy just says, "Hey, you're not supposed to run the park." I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever, buddy, and just kept going. And then that night we were coming back down, and we came up on a ranger, ran right up onto him, and he says, "Stop, no, there's no running here." And we're like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, there's no running the park." And so we just kind of walked until he was out of sight, and then we kind of sat down and started talking about it. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. How could we not be running on these nice, beautiful trails in the national park?
Right.
And sure enough, every day for the next 3 days, we got ran into rangers and got told that there was no running around the park. And eventually it got pretty serious to where one guy said he was going to come talk to us at the refugio that night with his boss. And so we didn't know if they were going to kick us out of the park or what they were going to do to us. So we were a little stressing about that scenario in the trip. And to this day, we really don't have a good answer on if there are certain times you can run in the park, if you have to have a permit, or what happened. But we were just definitely on had our eagle eyes on looking for rangers from then on out, trying not to get caught running.
That's crazy. So did they not really give you a reason as to why they weren't allowing it? They just said no.
It was
a definitive answer.
From their standpoint, it's a safety thing. I mean, they thought we would trip and fall and break our leg, and then they'd have to come helicopter us out. So I think that was their logic. But there's nothing posted on their website. No trail marking saying no running. It was just all of a sudden they decided to come up with that policy, and so yeah, that kind of made us nervous a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine when you spend all this money and you travel all this way, hours and days, to be told, oh, by the way, you can't do what you want to do. You have, I can't forget to shout out Joel Wolpert, who is also a major part of the creation of this film. Joel was down there filming a lot of it, obviously. When he's carrying his camera equipment and running along with you guys as well for long portions, did that raise any red flags? At any point were any of the rangers like, hey, you guys can't run, oh, and you can't make a movie while you're here? Any of that kind of stuff?
you know, well, we were showing the video afterwards, or not the video, but some of the snapshots of the park that we just ran through at this refugio called Erratic Rock. And what's the name of the town, Wolf? I forgot.
I don't know, man. I forget too.
Well, anyways, we were there, and we're talking about our trip and running the FKT, and lo and behold, in the crowd is a ranger. And so this ranger is like, acting really macho cool, got his machismo going, and it, what's your guys' names? Did you know that you can't be, you aren't supposed to run, and you're not. Did you get permission to film in the national park? And no, we didn't. But
my God.
That was the end of it. We've never been contacted or anything like that. And I think some of these guys get a little power, and they get a little excited and to tell people what they can and can't do and such. But this all flies into the face of logic when you have oftentimes inexperienced hikers carrying 40, 50, 60-pound packs. We saw them on tough terrain and mud with big boots on. And the likelihood of them just twisting an ankle and falling and hurting their leg, I don't know if that's any more or less than us, tiptoeing through with a little 5-pound pack on and running. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can imagine it's probably weird for them because I can't imagine there's a ton of runners that come down there to run the OW. So for them to see it, it's probably like, you guys are crazy. You're going to ruin it for everybody. But yeah, I mean, obviously, as a trail runner, as an ultramarathoner, you know that there's not necessarily more risk to run a certain section of trail as there is to hike it with a 50-pound ruck. It's if you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get hurt regardless. But for the most part, I would almost think that a runner has a little bit more ability to get through some of those hairy situations. Before I get too far into talking about this film, I feel like we're going to get into spoiler territory, and I don't want to get too far into spoiler territory, but we'll talk a little bit about the film itself and what happens during it and some of the reasons that you're doing it. But I want to show the trailer. So I want those of you guys who are watching live who maybe haven't seen the trailer to see it and to see what we're talking about. So here's the trailer from Around Patagonia. Enjoy.
All the way up there. All the way up there, dude. We'd have to get all the way up, around, and back down. Yeah.
Here in this beautiful place right now to run with my best friend on some of the most beautiful trails in the world.
4 a.m., dude.
All right.
See you in a bit.
Oh, whoa. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Oh my God, that's amazing. So okay,
Fired up?
Oops. Sorry, Jason. I think I just muted you again. Unmute, Jason. Unmute.
Unmuted. I'm back.
Sorry, that's my fault. When I started watching the film, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Yep, I'm definitely on board with this. I definitely think it's worth the rental, worth the download for sure. It's one of those films that I'm going to add to my collection in the high country, around Patagonia, Unbreakable. These are my pre-race films. These are what I watch before my big races or big adventure runs because it absolutely gets me pumped up. Excuse me. So one aspect of the film that I really like is that you're going for the FKT. Spoiler. Did you know going into it that that's what you wanted to do? Were you were you on your way to the OW to get the FKT, or was that something while you were there, like, okay, someone that has actually traveled this in a certain duration of time, let's see if we can beat it? Was it kind of an organic thing, or did you know going into it that's what you wanted?
I would say on my part, the thing that's kind of unique about our films and about I think this film especially is that Jeremy and I are great friends, running together, having fun, exploring and traveling. And you know, there's something special about the value and fun of doing that with somebody else. And so I think for us and the film, it was more about getting down there, seeing amazing places, seeing what kind of trouble we can get into, what awesome mountains we could see, and heck, why not? You know, there's an FKT. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Let's go for a massive long run and see if we can crack that time. So I think it was almost more proportionally about adventure, our friendship, having fun, and being somewhere super sexy.
I love it. How long have you guys been friends? Because I mean, I know that's an aspect of the film, and actually both of these films, this and the Dolomites, opening the route. How long have you guys been friends, and how did you guys meet? Was it through running, or did you have a mutual girlfriend? You were fighting over her or something?
No.
You go, Wolf.
All right. Yeah. So Schlarb and I, we both ran college track and cross country together. Hey, dude, at the library, you're on TV. Oh, I know that guy. That's Dank.
That is Dank. We'll have to say hi in a second.
All right. It wasn't just a total random guy. Cameo appearance. All right. Yeah. So sorry. Back on track. Yeah, we ran at. So in '98, I went to Montana State after high school, and I think Schlarb was there a year ahead of me. And so we ran track and cross country there for 4 years, and you know, really kind of connected, I guess, our last year there, kind of 2001, 2002, and then you know we did running, but yeah, in college, I mean, it was like running 15 miles was the far as we would go, and we were in Bozeman, so there's good trails and stuff like that, but we ran on them a little bit. We weren't diehard trail runners at that time, and so yeah, afterwards, Schlarb shipped out in the Air Force. He went to Boston, and then for a few years in Colorado, and then I went down to LA after college, and then just once a year, we would kind of just find a way to get together to go to South America or go do some cool trip in the Rockies, usually backpacking and hiking. And then Schlarb caught the Ultra bug probably 3 or 4 years ago, and then drug me into it a couple of years ago, and yeah, we're still going strong now.
Mm-hmm. No girlfriend. No girlfriend. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Come on, there's got to be more drama than that. Come on.
Well, maybe a little drama. Wolf used to be a real kind of cool cat that loved to dress up and look awesome. He went to California for one semester, and I was more the guy that was into the backcountry skiing and being in the mountains, I think, a bit more, and kind of eventually kind of persuaded Wolf to change his ways and get more into the mountains, I think. Is how I would tell the story, and so that's how we got more into the kind of friendships that we have now, I think.
Yeah, you should have seen me in high school, man. I was a real pretty looking boy, but yeah.
If you have any secrets about Jason, you'll have to let us know, Jeremy. Now
when Jason showed up at Montana State, his hair was down to here. Yeah, he had.
Well, I mean, Jason, you're rocking quite the dude now, and in the film, you're rocking what I would like to call the epic mullet, the most epic mullets of mullet. What was with that? Were you just in the mullet mood at that point, or what?
Yeah, a lot of ultra guys have the super long hair, but it's a pain in the butt, man. And if I could just have the fun in the back and have my own kind of look, I'm down with the mullet. It's something funky. Even this guy Mike that just walked by, the mullet's caught on with him. It even gets better if you don't shower for a few weeks. Like I'm on a streak right now, being in the wilderness and mountains. So yeah, it completes the look, I think.
Oh, for sure. I would almost say that it's worth the rental of around Patagonia just for Schlarb's mullet. I mean, there's a couple shots where I was like, oh man, he has no hair up top, but he's got long hair in the back because you're wearing like a hat and all you see is this little floof coming out the back. But then you take your hat off, you're like, oh no, shit, that's a full fucking mullet. That's business in the front, real party going on in the back. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's worth the download just for that.
Yeah.
A lot of chat going on in the chat room. People are talking about the Lone Peaks. That's actually been going on since the very beginning. You both ran the whole route in the Lone Peaks. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
How do you like those shoes, Schlarb? I know that you are now with Altra. What is? Tell us a bit about those shoes and how they worked for you for this particular distance.
The kind of cool thing with Ultras, they've got a whole bunch of different models. We chose the Lone Peak because it's got some great traction, and we knew that there was some great mud out there. I think we both like the lower drop shoe. It's a zero drop shoe. The toe box is awesome because it kind of just lets the toes spread out there. Those are the two kind of unique things about Ultra. They're also based out of the Rockies, in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
I kind of like to be able to support the homegrown Rocky Mountain kind of thing. The shoes do awesome. There's a new model coming out. I usually run oversized shoes. There's a couple models out now. I think you've done some reviews on them and stuff. The Paradigm and the Olympus. I primarily run in the Paradigm now, even in the most gnarly terrain. It's got great traction. Yeah, Ultra's cool. They got a lot of different stuff going on, and they're making cool shoes.
Yeah, I was going to say that I did. They sent me a pair of Olympus. So I've actually been running a lot in the Olympus. I like it a lot more than I anticipated, and I agree. The Paradigm. I actually did my first run in them. It's like a 10 or 15 mile trail run because you look at the bottom and the outsole. It's actually a pretty damn good trail shoe, even though it's designed for the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that. I just wanted to talk to you guys specifically about that. But Cody Van Rokel in the chat room, Jeremy, this one's for you. Anyone think Jeremy looks a bit like Ben Stiller? Not bad. Not yeah. I don't actually see it at all. I don't think he looks. No, I can see it.
Yeah, that's a first.
So okay, so you're going after the FKT. You're in Patagonia. You're in a remote area. I guess I'm going to spoil something. Jeremy, you got hurt. What happened? Like you ran the route. You ran the OW one time. Took your time. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the scene. Enjoyed the sights. What happened? Did you get injured or what was going on?
Yeah. Just got I don't know what quite the deal was. Just it was just kind of ramping up the mileage really high there, doing that OW week, and then we went up to Argentina, and I ran around Fitzroy, and then just a couple days before we were going to come back and do the FKT, just knee was not one specific instance, it just started to hurt, and so I kind of walked back at the end of one run, and kind of was going to just play it day by day, and then the kind of morning of the FKT, just knew that I shouldn't get up and go try to do a 76-mile loop on a bum knee, so yeah.
Pretty technical route too, right? Technical, and how much elevation? Is there 7,000 meters? Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, 76 miles, lots of climbing, lots of mud, so you want to be on your A game before you set out on that one. So, yeah, I would definitely, as in the video, disappointed that I couldn't join Schlarb out on that one, for that day, but I still got to do the whole route regardless, so I got to see it and do it, so, it still worked out.
And did Joel come along with you guys for the first run? Do the round, the first OW?
Yeah, he did the first OW that we took 4 days to do, and he just packed on that route. He just brought his GoPro and left his real hide. He had a digital SLR camera that he did shooting kind of the other days when we were just kind of out for a single day out and back or something like that.
Gotcha. And now, Jason, when you actually went out and did the FKT attempt on this, you brought, I'm assuming, with you a GoPro. Was it just a GoPro, and were you going out knowing that you wanted to film as much as possible, or were you going for the FKT and didn't want to focus too much on it, or what was kind of your mindset?
The point of the GoPro initially was, hey, why don't you take this and kind of just prove that you went all the way around the loop, have some kind of insurance. We might not even put anything on the actual video because we were able to video every day going around 3-4 days, and so we got most of the footage there, but lo and behold, you get some of the intensity, the pain, the weather changes, some of the crazy stuff that happens was actually captured, and it was actually really genuine, and it kind of fit into the video, I believe, but that really wasn't the initial intent of bringing the GoPro. But yeah, I brought that along, and by the end of the FKT, I was like, I couldn't even figure out how to turn the thing on. I was so tired. A lot of funny stuff that maybe we'll put on the outtakes later someday.
Oh, we got to see that stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, you ran into some gnarly spots on your FKT attempt. What was that like? I mean, because you're in the middle of nowhere. You're very remote. Obviously, you're an adventurer already, so you kind of have that spirit, and I'm sure you're okay with being in these isolated areas, dealing with in this case weather and some other gnarly spots. What was that like in that instance? Were you worried about not getting the FKT? Were you worried about just surviving? Tell us a little bit about that moment.
That's the part that turns me on, man. It was awesome. It was great. But I mean, I'll back up a little bit. Part of the reason I think Wolf would agree with this. Part of the reason Wolf had the injury is because to run the loop in 3 days, we did some big runs with a lot of technical and a lot of fun, and then we went and tried to take a week easy out in Argentina and Fitzroy Territorios. And lo and behold, we were running hours a day. So really what I think the knee problem came from the second to last day before we headed back to do the FKT. That's when the knee hit, on a 2-hour run. So, we were having tons and tons of fun. And that kind of also made an impact on me. It was not a taper. It was 2 massive weeks. And so I come back, we get into the weather's great. I get out there. I realize, man, I'm going to do this by myself. I don't have any support. There's some kind of crazy stuff that could happen if I end up having to bail. Like I'd have to go and stay at a refugio or something with no communication with the guys. But there's the moment there where the pass, the high pass, John Gardner pass was actually on its. The Rangers were up there ready to close the pass. It was snowing horizontally.
Wow.
There's also, it's a very wet place too at this time of year. A lot of snow melt and everything. The path, the trail, we'll call it a trail, was also a creek. It was just kind of marked route up a creek. And so, there's a lot of risk, a lot of weather, a lot of things that aren't told in the details of the statistics of it was 21,000 feet of climbing and 75.6 miles.
Right.
The layout of those climbs and descents and the mud and the weather it really is an exciting, fun, crazy time, and it's what gets me excited. I would have rather done it with Wolf. Next video we'll go push ourselves and get ourselves into some trouble together, I think.
That's actually that's great, because that's kind of what the next questions was. What's next? What is the next adventure? Has it been planned? Are there seeds that have been planted? Jeremy, I know you have some ideas.
Yeah, I guess we're just kind of on a roll here, and we're building some momentum. We kind of launched this Schlarb Wolf Productions after really getting this Patagonia video going, and we did the Dolomite video in June of last year. So yeah, I think we're going to want to just kind of carry this momentum forward and seeing if we can kind of keep coming up with a cool international running adventure, probably on an annual basis. So, I don't know. In the Patagonia, in the Dolomite video, we announced that we're going to Patagonia this year, and I think we're kind of looking at doing something again this winter. So we're probably looking Southern Hemisphere, Peru, potentially back to South America, or
Nice.
maybe something. Over Asia. So I can't say we have one destination, but we've got some time to figure it out. But I definitely plan on seeing another video out.
Yeah.
Love it.
One spot we were thinking about too is Central America and doing some of the volcanoes and some of that fun stuff. But we have been to Peru together, and there are some amazing, amazing mountains out there. And the nice thing that we like kind of about Peru too is it's very affordable, where Argentina and Chile are not as affordable. So it's kind of nice to have that bonus. And then also it's just beautiful, beautiful forest down there in Peru. I don't know if you've been there before, but that's top on my list. But we thought about South Africa. It's a little drier than we like. I think we like more of the forested, mountainy kind of feel, traditional North American mountains, I think. But Peru kind of gives that to us a little bit more than South Africa, I think.
Wow, I love it. Can't wait to see what you guys end up doing next. And you'll have to make sure that you announce it online so we can all at least get amped for it, whether you tweet it or let me know and I can announce it to people, or you can come back on the show and talk to us about it. We would love to know. Now, for those of you who are watching live, it's time to give away some downloads of Around Patagonia. I'm excited about this because I got a chance to watch it. I love it. It's now in my library of films that I have to watch before races. It gets me pumped. As Schlarb would put it, it's sexy. I love it. It's sexy. So I have a couple questions. If Jeremy and Jason, if you guys want to come up with like one question that you can ask that people might not know the answer to, you can also answer the phone. If you want to ask the question, and then anyone in the chat room, the first answer according to my YouTube chat room, so what I see, whoever comes up with the first answer in there, it's going to take some time because sometimes the chat room takes a bit to load. They will win the download code to download the video. And all you have to do, that sounded like a monster. All you have to do to download or to get your code is to answer the question correctly, be the first to do it, and then let's say, Jeremy, let's say they can tweet either you or Jason.
Yeah, we've got. How about we do this? We've got Schlarb Wolf Productions Twitter tag. So it's at
Twitter.
At Schlarb Wolf is the tag.
Awesome, perfect. So I'll have you just contact. So yeah, if you are the winner, we'll let you know here during the live stream, and then just tweet at Schlarb Wolf. Is it Schlarb Wolf Productions or Schlarb Wolf?
Just Schlarb Wolf.
Okay, I'll write that up, and I'll put that up on the screen here in just a second. So you'll just tweet at Schlarb Wolf, let them know, hey, I'm the guy that won, give me my code, and they'll direct message you. You guys will have to direct message. Okay, so I have a question. I'll ask the first one, and then if you guys want to come up with one. Because you want to do three? Want to do three giveaways?
Perfect.
Two or three? Great.
It works.
Love it. All right, so the first question, this is from me. This one should be pretty easy for those of you who have been listening and watching the show. What is the name of the route that Jason ran? And of course, Jeremy ran it as well, but Jason did the FKT attempt on. What is the name of that route? And Joel also ran it, I guess. You guys all ran it. What am I talking about? You guys all spent multiple days on the route. What is the name of that route? All right, so we're going to have to kind of watch the chat room because sometimes it takes a couple of seconds for it to refresh. So I'm going to refresh it now because I feel like it was an easy question, and I have a feeling that someone is going to answer it quickly. Vincent and Benoit says, Appalachian Trail. I think that's it.
A for effort. A for effort, Vincent.
I also don't think that might have been an answer to another question that we were talking about, like other places you guys should go and do an adventure run on. I think Appalachian Trail was the answer to that. But I love it being the answer to this particular question, which I think is really funny. Let's talk about equipment. So how much equipment do you think you guys brought down there for the actual film? DSLRs, GoPros, how many extra bags of stuff did you guys have to bring down?
More than we should have. We did bring our fueling, the Patagonia. We had like a whole big old bucket of that. We had our UD packs, our UD hand water bottles. We had we have to be prepared for snow. We have to be prepared for 70s, 80s degrees. So it was a kind of a tough one to pack for. Sunglasses, sunscreen, all this stuff. So, but the kind of cool thing is, when it came down to it, we had to fit it into EB Ultimate Direction vest. So it became really light and really liberating once we started running on that circuit, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess was that considered fast packing at this point? So, how much could you fit into these backpacks? I mean, were you able to shove sleeping bags and clothes in there, or was it did you limit it to really light layers and food? I mean, were you really minimal about it?
You got it, Wolf.
Yeah, man. It was pretty much just a change of clothes. So all the bedding was provided at the refugios. So we just had maybe like a windbreaker, a hat, set of gloves, another. We're wearing a t-shirt and shorts to run in, so we maybe had another long sleeve shirt, and another pair of shorts. And then each night at the refugio, we would just go in the sink in the bathroom, or when we were taking a shower, take our dirty clothes in, and like get some soap and rub them together and kind of wash them out, and then try to dry them overnight. So just traveling super light, and then a few kind of bars for nutrition and and yeah, just traveling pretty light. A headlamp maybe, but just traveling super light. And the pack would slowly get down. We'd have a little bit of bars for 4 or 5 days, so the food would kind of dwindle as we went on. But yeah, overall traveling super light, which made us go really fast. The nice thing was for water too. They'll tell you, like at the national parks, oh yeah, just drink right out of the streams and the lakes. So we were just carrying one handheld water bottle, and whenever we're thirsty, there's tons of water coming down off the glaciers and the rivers, and so you just dip it in. You got a nice glass of fresh, cold water, ready to go.
I love it, and I think we have a winner. We have a winner for the first giveaway, according to my chat room. And I'm going to pull up a little screenshot here. Let's see if this works. Will the screenshot work?
Oh yeah, I see it.
Friend, you are the winner of the first code to download around Patagonia. So all you have to do is just tweet at Schlarb and let them know, hey, I'm Guillaume. And of course in a French accent, I am Guillaume, give me my code. Or however you want. Guillaume's actually a friend of mine, which is great. I love that he's watching the show. Thanks, Guillaume. Appreciate it. All right, so now which one of you guys has a question?
I've got a good question. I've got a good question.
All right, here we go. Another giveaway.
One real quick thing on the light packing. One of the most essential things that we ended up, two essential things that we found were perfect for running light and with a running vest like that over like 3, 4, 5, 6 days, whatever. Arm sleeves was one. We had these awesome Smart Wool arm sleeves. Those are just so easy because you don't have to take your vest off if you want to take your shirt off and put it back on. And you can use it as a sweatband. That was huge. Second part too is the Vitargo is a powder, and so instead of having the sticky goo things to carry, and it's a lot heavier, we just would mix that powder right into our water and just do 100 calories an hour and just go. It was so much lighter than having to carry a whole bunch of real food or slimy jelly stuff in the liquid form. So those were the two big things I think we learned and really appreciated. So sorry for that diversion.
No, I was going to dovetail back into that because I think that's actually really important. So the arm sleeves, and then you just stuck to powder nutrition pretty much for the most of the trip.
For the FKT, man.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I took was the powdered Vitargo stuff. So I was super, super light. I just stopped, and when I needed a drink of water, I just put in the powder, 100, 200 calories, whatever I needed, and put the water in there and go. It was pretty convenient.
Multiple people have recommended Vitargo to me. I've got to look into it because I'm currently doing Tailwind. I love Tailwind. I think it's really, really great. It does exactly what I need it to in all sorts of conditions, hot, cold. I get my calories in liquid form, which has been great for the ultramarathons. And I've used other stuff in the past. I still use some goos and some nut butters and stuff like that for the hardier instances where I need a little bit more fat. But I got to check out the Vitargo stuff because you and multiple people have recommended it.
Yeah, a lot of dudes are running with it now. Wardian and Dave Mack.
Yeah.
There's some guys that aren't sponsored, like Mike Wolf and company that use it as well. It absorbs 30-some% faster, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's great.
Best. Get rid of it right there. That's the point for me.
So yeah, if you guys have a question, let's do another giveaway and we can continue to talk about it. So do either of you have a question you would like to ask the chat room?
I've got a quiz question for the chat room.
Bring it. This is for another download code.
All right, here we go. So we ran in the Torres del Paine National Park in Chile. What does the word Torres mean?
I don't want to do that. I'm going to get sued by Jeopardy. What does the word Torres mean? Great question. So while you guys, I'll keep my eye on the chat room. And I have to look this up because I think in my mind I know exactly what it means, but I'm like, wait, that's not what it means. So I'm going to have to look it up just to make sure I see the correct answer. Are either of you looking in the chat room? Jeremy, are you looking in the chat room? It's going to take a second. You might have to refresh it. Let's see. Because I want to make sure that I get it right. Only Schlarb knows the actual definition. Yes. Unfortunately, he can't say it because then he'll just give the answer away. Oh man. And now, of course, I have to go to like 3 different websites just to find it, which is probably the exact same thing everyone else is doing.
Yeah, the hint, it starts with the same letter in the English.
Yeah, okay, I think I know what it is. Great, let's see if anyone in the chat room is... Oop. Oh, no.
I'm not seeing it yet.
I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait.
Okay, James.
Yes, that's what I saw. James Shie says towers, which is the correct answer. It is towers.
Good job.
And, good job, James. So, James, all you have to do to claim your download code is to tweet at Schlarb. That's it. That is all you have to do. Congratulations, it is towers. Will Porter, I thought for a second Will had it, but he said tour. But I like Thad Sweet's answer of hostage. It's the hostage. But yeah. Yeah. And Jamil, just behind, Jamil Curry, another friend of the show, was just behind with towers. But I have James Shia. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'm not. Knowing me, I'm a beard deep at this point, so I'm going to pronounce everything wrong. Great. Congratulations. We've given away 2 codes. I think it's time we give away our 3rd. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult, and of course I didn't write down the answer either. But I believe Jeremy knows. So if Jeremy keeps an eye on the chat room, we should be able to find it. So the 3rd and final giveaway code will go to the first person to give us the new FKT of the OW route. What is the new FKT? As set by a member of today's live show. If you can find that actual number, type it into the chat room. Let us know what it is, and the first correct answer will win the 3rd and final download code and the respect of everyone on today's show, including Jeremy and Jason, because that's probably the most difficult question today. Okay, yeah. So let's talk. I want to talk more about kind of the stuff that you guys shoved in there. So in my mind, I'm thinking I want to do more fast packing stuff because it's like the John Muir Trail is a good example. Something that's really close to me that is a multi-day, possibly staged event. You know, where you kind of divide it into 20, 30, 40, 50-mile days. But I want a pack that I'm able to carry with me while I run, but also carry everything I need to be able to sleep and like food and maybe even a light micro tent or some sort of sleeping package or something like that. When you guys were down there, did you have any of that kind of gear at any point, or were you just dependent on the refugios or the hostels that you were able to stay in and kind of depend on those for food and shelter, essentially?
Well, you know, we stayed in the refugios each night. We didn't do like a true fast packing kind of thing. You know, we're slackers. But you know what? The PB vest by Ultimate Direction is the best thing for like being able to stay in huts. I don't think you could do a tent sleeping bag kind of combo in there. It would be pretty amazing. You'd have to have some really amazing gear. But Ultimate Direction actually gave us some prototypes of their fast pack kind of running vest kind of thing, and it's basically like all of their running vests in their design on the chest, but it has a much bigger wrappable top. I think Wolf's going to go grab it, and that we use that to carry our gear around and do some day hiking, and it is amazing. It's really, really awesome. It performs just like one of their running vests, but it can carry a pad, a sleeping bag, and a tent. And I would highly, highly recommend it to anybody for fast packing.
Yeah, here we go.
Wolf is sporting it up there.
Yeah. So we didn't get to use it a ton, but it's pretty lightweight and just got a nice simple closure. I'm just fumbling with a bag to you guys is all you can see, but yeah. This would be the next step up, but the UD stuff that we took, the Bachman, that's what we had in the Dolomites, the Baldwin, and in Patagonia. Just super comfortable, man. I've never liked running. I mean, I'm not sponsored by UD or any of that stuff. They just I've never liked running with a pack, and then the UD stuff, man, you just fill that up, and it just we can go for 8 or 10 hours at a time, and the stuff travels really nice in there. So. Yeah, I don't mind running with a pack now after wearing one of those.
And is that available now? Like, can people go out and get it now?
I've seen it. I've seen it around in some different colors. They changed the colorways. I think if it's not available now, it will be this summer. So keep your eye out on the EUD's site and page and stuff, and you'll see it very, very soon.
Awesome. And we have a winner. We have a third and final winner.
Nice.
I am seeing Matt in the chat room. According to, I'll just show you the graphic here. According to what I see, just below the comment there from Zach Lutches, says Matt, 16 hours and 20 minutes, which is the correct time. 16 hours and 20 minutes. We had multiple correct answers. We had many incorrect answers. For the most part, it was all, you guys were on top of it for sure. So 16 hours and 20 minutes is the new FKT of the OW route, which is, now the O route is the loop. The W is now going, where does the W, do those take you up peaks, or do those take you through valleys, or what are those W marks?
Those go up the two valleys on the south side of the park, and they go up to the most, it's probably the most gnarly terrain on the entire route, those two valleys, and it goes up to the beautiful lake on the eastern side, and then on the western side it goes up to a vantage point where there's basically like 270 degrees of towers and mountains that just surround you. So they're very, very hard-earned, but they're the highlight of the loop. And to little tidbit of extra information, when we first were headed down there, we planned on just doing the O because we wanted to spend more time running in some other places. But those two valleys were just too awesome to pass up, and so we went for it.
I love it. So you guys actually added some adventure to your adventure. You're like, oh, screw it. We gotta make this sexier. We gotta make it sexier. So I have to thank you guys both for being on the show. I know that you guys have busy schedules adventuring and getting to enjoy trails and stuff like that. It really is an honor to have you guys here and to meet you both for the first time. Around Patagonia is an amazing movie. If this is a sign of things to come from you guys as far as what you guys are going to produce, I'm all in. For sure, I'm all in. And if at any point you guys would like a ginger to join you, I'm happy to get on a plane and go wherever you're going. I will be slower, and I'll probably eat a lot more and drink a lot more, but I'll chug right along there with you. And we have to make sure that we shout out Joel, who couldn't unfortunately be on the show tonight, but for him to lug all the equipment down to South America and to film this. The FKT and the whole experience with you guys, it was a beautiful, beautiful film. So big shout out to him. And yeah, where can people find you guys online? I want to make sure that everyone is watching live or who's listening to this on podcast form in the next couple of days. Where can they find you guys online? How can they follow you and your amazing exploits out there in the middle of the mountains and on the trails and stuff like that? Jeremy, let's start with you.
Yeah, so for this film we launched, Jason and I formed, a company now called Schlarb Wolf Productions, and so you can go to schlarb.com to see both our trailer, which will link you to the Patagonia film, and then also our Dolomite video is for free to watch up there as well. We showed that at the Mountain Running Film Festival here in Missoula last year, and it was definitely the crowd favorite there. So yeah, schlarb.com, and then yeah, on Twitter I'm at Jeremy Wolf Run at Twitter. But yeah, Schlarb, give them your stuff.
Hit it up, Schlarb.
Yeah. I definitely have to give it a shout out to Joel like you did. His editing and his artistic flair and his ability to capture shots, super awesome, amazing. Just as you saw in the high country, I think that he elevated to a new level with our film. I'm obviously biased, but he did some amazing stuff and did some special effects and graphics and animation that's really cool. Yeah, schlarwolf.com is where the videos are going to be. We're even looking into doing some production for somebody like Ginger, to come in, and you want us to go and make a film about you running in, Venezuela, then you come to us and we can set it up. So that's another service that we're looking at schlarwolf.com and production. As far as me, I'm doing a lot of racing. I'm going to spend 3 months in Europe this summer, do UTMB, the Skyrunning World Championships. You can follow me at jasonschlarb.com and then at jasonschlarb for Twitter. And those are the main two places. And of course, I've got an athlete page on Facebook. You can check out that too. Doing stuff on Instagram, Jason Schlarb there. All kinds of sweet pictures. it's hard not to get good pictures when you're just living on the road playing in the mountains.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
Yeah,
Hey, wait, you got just one more mullet in action.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Look at that.
see, it's catching on. I bet you're gonna go for it, Ginger. I bet you.
Give me a day. I gotta just shave the sides. I've got a bit of party in the front. I gotta work on the party in the back. Give me a week. I shaved this morning and it's already back. So
I'll be looking for it.
and before we let you guys go, and before we go into the post show where we can answer more questions from the chat room, this is something I do with all of my guests. It's a little segment that I like to call the Quickie Question Quiz. Oh, stop double clicking. There we go. All right, so basically here's how this goes down. I am going to ask you guys rapid fire questions. They're very easy questions. They're not mathematical or anything like that. And so we'll go in order as I ask the questions. Just answer them as quickly as you can, just so we can find out a little bit more about you guys as individuals, as athletes, and as people. We'll start with Jeremy, and then we'll go to Jason. So we'll go Jeremy, Jason, Jeremy, Jason, Jeremy, Jason. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
Let's do it.
Great. All right, Jeremy, we'll start with you. What was your very first race? Oh, well, Schlarb just left.
My first race was chasing after Schlarb, trying to find him. No, first race was probably going to be, let's go with the Icebreaker, Great Falls, Montana, 3-mile race. I'm probably 5th grader, and I led the first 200 yards, first place after 200, and then quickly faded to walking the most of the rest of the race. But yeah, that was what got me started.
I love it, and I honestly don't know what happened to Schlarb. I think he just was like, oh, the show's over, and closed his laptop. He might not have had his headphones in at that point. So we'll just keep going with you. Best trail run that you've ever done, best trail run.
Best trail run, you guys got to check out the Dolomite video. It wasn't a trail run, it was a snow adventure. So that's what made that so amazing, was just being with your best buddies. Each day you didn't know if the trail was going to be open, if you're going to have to turn around, if you were going to be sliding down on a glacier. It was Dolomites are spectacular, so get there whenever you can.
Yeah, it looked incredible. By far one of the most beautiful areas that I think I've seen on video. Scariest moment on a trail? Any animal encounters or anything like that?
Yeah. In college, I was a boat captain driving a 90-passenger tour boat on Lake McDonald in Glacier National Park.
Oh yes.
Just about a couple hours north of me here in northern Montana, and yeah, coming around the trail. I was training for cross country that summer, and came across a trail, and about 20 feet in front of me is a ginormous black bear just standing right in the middle of it, and he didn't hear me coming, and I didn't know he was there, and I just froze and did the oh my gosh, and he just kind of, his eyes opened up, and I didn't know what he's gonna do, but we just kind of had this stare down for about 10 seconds, and then just like that, he just split right and went into the woods, and so my heart was just racing. So,
oh my God!
And usually when I'm in Glacier, I'm running with bear spray just in case Mr. Black Bear is a grizzly bear and he doesn't. He comes at me instead of away from me. So
right.
Yeah, it's a kind of a factor running in Montana is you got the bear danger.
Yeah, the bear element.
Yeah.
The dream race. What is your dream race to run? Any distance.
Oh, dream race. Let's go with, UTMB sounds, I've only raced 50Ks before. I haven't done anything more than that, but just seeing the terrain and having a little taste of the Dolomites and going through Italy and seeing the culture over there. I haven't done Europe, but 100 miles is dreamy, because if I can run that far, that would be scary and hard, and doing it in Europe would be awesome. So down the road.
Idol? Besides Jason Schlarb, who's your idol?
Let's see. Well, yeah, I'm working on my mullet for Jason. Idol is going to be, my high school cross country coach, Branch Brady. The guy is probably 65, 70 years old, has run every single day for probably the last 35 years. And he's been sick, had broken bones, but his thing is get a mile in every day. He whipped our butts in high school, man, just getting us to run hard and doing 2-a-days, but really instilled kind of the sense of hard work and that it pays off. So yeah, I'm going with Branch Brady, CMR High School.
Love it. Favorite post-race indulgence?
Post-race indulgence is going to be finding a nice cold creek and just sitting in there and icing the legs for 10-15 minutes afterwards.
Your current running kicks. What are you
running
running?
Kicks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm after So yeah, after the video, the Patagonia video, I picked up a sponsorship with Hoka. So I've actually been running in them for probably a year and a half or so now. Jason got me into them originally last year. But yeah, I'm rocking the Hoka Stinsons. Are definitely my trail kind of go-to shoe right now.
Nice. And actually, Matthew Kennedy in the chat room says thoughts on the new Hoka 11 Stinson ATR, which I guess is a lighter version of the Stinson. I haven't seen
ATR. Yeah, I haven't seen that one out yet, but yeah, I'm just rocking kind of the Stinson that's been out for a year. Super awesome cushion for bombing down hills, and then loving the traction. And then I've been playing a little bit around with the Rapa Nui, which is just a little less cushion, a little lighter weight. So you'll probably see me racing in the Rapa Nui coming up at Speed Goat here next month.
Nice. And finally, who's your favorite ginger?
The guy on the other side of my screen with the red OR shirt on right now. That's
Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for playing along with the Quickie Question Quiz. And someone was already asking for it in the chat room. I think I will do this segment tonight, and you're welcome to join in, Jeremy. It's a segment that I call Runner's Rant, where we get the opportunity to say that thing that's been bugging us lately, whether it's out in the trails or out on the roads. So here's the segment called Runner's Rant. Runner's Rant. I'll go ahead and start. You're welcome to participate, Jeremy, if you'd like to. I know some runners are like, I don't like to complain about stuff, so I understand if that is the case. In my case, the thing I want to get off my chest and put out there into the universe so people maybe deal with it, and that's the idea of right-of-way on trails. I have always been taught, and it's what I try to teach people as well, is that the right-of-way goes to those who are going uphill. And this happened this last weekend where I was going up, and there was a number of hikers and runners and mountain bikers and whatnot coming down the trail, none of which yielded to me. This happened before, and I think I mentioned it. I hope it wasn't a runner's rant before, but the fact is the rules of the trail that go back a long, long time is that the right-of-way goes to those who are working harder, so those who are going uphill. So I try to stick with that as often as possible, but it's not always the case because sometimes you have to deal with people on the trail that don't know that or don't do that. What about you, Jeremy? Is there anything that's kind of been bugging you lately or something you want to just get out there so maybe people are aware that it is an issue?
That's an issue. You know, I don't have a lot, where I'm blessed right now in Missoula. I've got access to 3 or 4 trailheads going way back in the mountains, a mile and a half from my house. So I've got really easy access. The thing that just bugged me this year was that we had ice on the trails for a long, long time. So my rant this year, man, was just running on ice. I slipped a couple months ago and tweaked my knee, so I was down for a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, up here we're running in, kind of yak tracks and things like that on our shoes just to get grip. So, which is you got to do in the wintertime if you want to train, but man, it'd be nice kind of come March, April time frame where you don't have to worry about that stuff. But we've still got snow up high, so if you're going up high, you still want to bring some sort of grip on your shoes. So, yeah, not a people thing, man, but I'm ranting about ice right now on the trail, and luckily it's gone most places.
Totally works. What's crazy is that when we were talking about before the show as well about how you still have snow and still have ice, or at least it's gone away now, but being in Southern California, it's warped my mind. I'm from the Northwest originally, so I'm used to seasons. I'm used to really, really wet and cold seasons. But being in California, it's like, oh yeah, last week it was over 100 degrees. And it's like, I guess it's been that way since January. It's been in the 90s or 80s, since the beginning of the year. So I guess it's a blessing and a curse because we don't get the seasons like you guys do.
No, I do miss it at times. I lived in LA for about 8 years, Hermosa and Huntington Beach and El Segundo. So, I wasn't running a lot of trail. I was pounding more of the pavement on the Strand down by the beach during those years. But, I don't know if anywhere's perfect, and even perfect weather, 70 degrees every day year round, it gets old after a while too. So the seasons keep it fresh, and there's always something new and weather to deal with. So it definitely keeps you on your toes and kind of always engaged by just the senses and the sights are always changing, so I do dig that a lot.
I love it. Well, dude, Jeremy, again, oh, yay!
Hey! I know this guy calling in.
He's like, wait, they're still going? Jason, what's up, buddy? Welcome back. He
The
probably
library.
is. Yeah, it could have been the library Wi-Fi too. We know that he was pulling Wi-Fi out of the library. But this is a wonderful, wonderful blessing. Of course, we can't hear him or see him yet, so hopefully he clicks through. Just as I was about to end the show and move into the post-show, no final last words from Jason. All right. Well, for those of you who are listening to the podcast form, Jason Schlarb just jumped back onto the video chat, but we're waiting to see if he can get some internet signal to get the video and the audio signal up. In the meantime, I want to thank my guests tonight, Jeremy Wolf and Jason Schlarb. They were amazing, extremely talented dudes, both on the running front, the ultramarathon, the adventure running, but also the filmmaking. And a big shout out to Joel as well, who unfortunately couldn't be here during the show, but maybe we can get him on in a future show and talk to him about some of his films that he's been doing, as well as working with these guys with the Schlarb Wolf Productions. Did we just get Schlarb? Are you there?
Ooh.
Hey, I think I'm really here now.
The mullet? Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Dude, we totally lost you. So sorry, man. We were doing some last little... There he goes.
And he's gone.
And just like that. All right.
The librarian gave him the boot.
So, Jeremy, if you want to stick around for just a couple more minutes, we'll stick around in the post show and answer some of the questions that have been flying through the chat room. If you want to stick around.
Yeah, man, no problem.
If you have to go, you can go, but no worries. For those of you who are watching live, I very much appreciate it. You guys are fantastic, tuning in every single Monday live at 6 p.m. Pacific, week after week. It's been great. Tune in every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because we will have guests every single week. Next week, I'll actually be up north. I'm going to be up in the Great White North of Vancouver, British Columbia, dealing with some North Shore trails and technical trails. Now Schlarб's listening to music. Is there a live band? Nope, he's just chilling. So you'll want to watch next week's show because we'll have long legs on again. I'm going to mute him. Sorry, Schlarb, I'm just going to mute you. And then the week after that, guess who's on the show? Mr. Dean Karnassus. Dean Karnassus is officially joining us on June 16th during our live show. It's going to be a blast. So tune in every single week, every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can find me on all the social networks over on Twitter, @TheGingerRunner, on Facebook, facebook.com/TheGingerRunner, youtube.com/TheGingerRunner, where I post all my reviews and race films as well. Just subscribe to that channel. You're there now. So go enjoy some other films while you're here. And stick around for the post show. We've got more Jeremy, Jason, and Guitar Man coming up right here on Ginger Runner Live. Stick around for the post show. This is amazing. Don't stop playing. Hold on. We can't hear you, Jason. Or yeah, Schlarb, can you unmute your video? We can't hear you.
You're on mute.
We're on mute. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Never grow. Tired of screwing up. Tired of running around. Tired of screwing up. Tired of this town. Oh my. Oh hell yes. Got to put on that party dress. It's too cold to cry when I woke up alone. Hit the last number, then off to the road. Oh.
All right, special guest day.
All right. Live music.
That was amazing and unexpected.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that happens a lot when you hang out with Schlarb Wolf.
Yeah. And at public libraries.
Yeah, we were just we were answering some last minute questions, Jason. When I think we lost you from Wi-Fi, but now we're in the post show. This is officially the post show, so we're going to kind of rip through the chat room and ask questions that maybe were missed during the live show. So if you want to stick around for a couple minutes, or you're welcome to just keep playing music. You can do whatever you want.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
I can I can talk for a few minutes. My battery is dying, so I had to go back to the truck, turn on the truck, charge it for like 2 minutes, and then come back. So I got to be real quick.
No worries. If anyone has any questions, last-minute questions for Jason Schlarb, ask him now before his battery dies and he has to go back to his truck to charge it.
Right.
So if you guys have any questions for him, be sure to ask now.
This is so Schlarb. Classic. I love it.
This
It's always
is
an adventure
so...
with this guy. He can make the Ginger Runner show into an adventure. I mean, this guy is adventure.
Exactly.
I mean, I wish we had a live video that we could just strap onto Jason's shoulder and just follow him around for the rest of the day, because basically what I'm doing is nothing compared to what Jason's doing right now. He's at a public library making friends with guitar players, listening to music, charging his laptop on his car battery. Living the dream,
We're
man.
headed to the wilderness boundary, right? Yeah. Headed to the wilderness boundaries, camp at the trailhead, and go do some running in the morning. That's what we'll be doing.
Where are you running in the morning? The San Juans. Are you going deep? How far?
San Juan Wilderness, I'll probably do 15 miles.
Nice. Here's a question. This is from Matt B. in YCC. Wow, hold on a second. My chat room thing just messed up. Where'd it go? There we go. Matt B. in YYC and Company. Any tips to get rid of thigh pain after the race I just did? Also, that's amusing. I just met Dean yesterday. He asked me how to get into Stampede Park. So he has thigh pain. I guess my answer to Matt would be, can you be more specific? Do you mean quad pain or hamstring pain or any of that kind of stuff? Do you guys do any stretching, Jeremy or Jason?
I'll answer first because I think I'm going to be gone soon. You know, my solution to thigh pain, we'll call it quad and hamstring, is, you know, the Maximalist running shoe really takes the edge off of my soft muscle tissue, you know, breakdown basically. And the tip for afterwards, that would be just jumping into a really cold creek where you can see some snow on the banks. Do that 15 minutes a day, and yeah, stretch, do some yoga. That's what I would recommend.
And another question for you, Schlarb. This is from Jim Lowe. I'm going to kind of alter the question because I think it's a little bit more accurate this way. Altra's new manufacturing processes, have they kind of streamlined their manufacturing process? Now, I know that they were a new company. Are they coming out with new manufacturing processes in some of their newer shoes?
I think that what they use now is different because they're owned by a parent company called Icon. And so I know that their manufacturing quality and processes have only improved, and they've got a lot of support from that parent company. A lot of their stuff for 14 and 15 is even tighter and more, you know, spot on as far as like not delaminating and staying strong and having no like holes or anything like that. You know, some of the issues I think that they might have had early on in their you know, first few years making the Lone Peaks and stuff.
Yeah. And finally, Schlarb, before we let you go, do you know the song in the Around Patagonia trailer?
You know what? That's a great question. That music is totally organic. We were running in the Glacier National Park in Argentina below Fitzroy, and we ran into these guys playing music, jamming down right at the lake, like 3, 4, 5 miles away from the trailhead. Joel put down his SLR, recorded it, and we basically captured like 45 minutes of music, talked to the dudes. They were all about having it in the video. And that's where the soundtrack for Around Patagonia came from. Really, really, really cool. So, you know, I don't speak Spanish. I don't have the lyrics written out or anything, so I wouldn't be the one to be able to tell you exactly what the words mean of the songs. I've got some ideas because I've got some Spanish-speaking friends, but yeah, that's the story on the music. Yeah, exactly. It's all about cussing out Americans and distance running, right?
Well, Jason, I'll let you go, man. I know that you have some music to listen to and some computer batteries to take care of. But Jason, thank you so much, man, for taking time to join us on the show. And we'll see you out in the trail, bro. Can't wait to actually meet you in person.
Yeah, cool. Likewise, man. Looking forward to talking to you on the show again anytime, dude. See you, bro.
Will do. See you, man.
Right.
All right.
Let's not forget to thank our public libraries for free Wi-Fi.
Free Wi-Fi from the public libraries. Thank you. I love it. All right, just kind of scrolling through the chat room here, guys. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions for Jeremy or myself, let us know. We got one from James Shia. Ethan, ever do any home brewing? Actually, I have done home brewing in the past. I've done 3 or 4 batches, 2 of which turned out great, 2 of which turned out not great. I'm pretty meticulous about, you know, keeping everything totally sanitary, and you want to make sure that you don't get any stuff getting into the batch that's going to ruin it or turn it. So I was really meticulous with all the batches that I did, but for some reason 2 of them turned out not great. Really sweet, and I know there's a real simple fix to that. I just need to pay attention to the process more. But I haven't brewed in a long time, so I've been actually thinking about doing that for a summer brew coming up for this summer. So we'll see. What about you, Jeremy? Have you homebrewed at all?
No, man. Just when you're spending a lot of time with, I got the fam and out on the trails. It's a lot easier just to walk in the store and buy this and do this and brewing
so
it.
Much easier.
I've not done the homebrew, although it's pretty popular around here. They've got a lot of stores who are, selling the homebrew kits and stuff like that.
That's cool. Let's see. This is for, the Ultra 1-2 Rocks. Yeah, I just did the review of the Ultra 1 Squared. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great road flat. Have you got a chance to test any of the new Hoka road flats, Jeremy? Any of the new, like, Huaka or anything on the lower stack height end?
Stack height. I haven't taken them for a spin. I was down at Hoka headquarters a couple months ago, so I saw some of them, and I know Sage is tearing it up in them as well. So, I think it sounds like, this summer here in a next month or two, we'll see the Wakas out for everybody. They're going to have a shoe for everybody for every distance. So they're definitely going towards the masses. So I think they'll still have the nice cushion trail stuff for us trail guys and ultra guys, but they'll have light racing flats and eventually spikes too. So they're going to try to be a nice good shoe for everybody with cushion definitely being part of the game.
So are you running primarily trails now, or if you were you growing up as a cross-country runner or like a track meet runner, short distance, long distance, medium distance?
Yeah, high school and college was track and cross country, so mile, 3,200. I did a lot of steeplechase, 3,000 meter steeplechase in college, and then cross country college was 8K, 10K type distances.
Gotcha.
And then just the last couple of years. To me personally, probably even 2 years ago, I'd never run a marathon, or much less over maybe 16 or 17 miles, just short stuff. And then I'm just a product of my environment. Just there's a lot of ultra guys, good guys here in Missoula. Mike Wolf, Mike Foote, Justin Engel. There's a lot of badass runners. So I just kind of caught into it. Schlarb came to town and just kind of got caught up in the ultra scene. So. Last year was really my first year doing ultras and just getting into it more and more as time goes on here.
Love it. I think it's something that we all kind of fall into at some point. Some sort of inspiration or something gets us signed up for that first one, and then it's all downhill and a lot of uphill from there.
Yeah.
Zach Lux in the chat room asks, I asked earlier, but I'm moving from a 4mm to a 0 drop. Should I keep the transition slow, or is the difference not that bad? In my opinion, I would always take a transition like that slowly. If you're going from a primarily 4mm or greater drop, so anything from 12, 10, 8, 6, whatever, anything greater than 0, if you're transitioning to only 0, then I would transition over the course of time. Make sure that it works for you and make sure that your body is getting used to that adjustment rather than going full bore and just doing it overnight. Rather than risk injury like that, I would definitely take it slow and rotate between your shoes more often. Jeremy, do you have any advice on that front? Have you transitioned to 0? I know Hoka's, most of them are anywhere from 2 to 4. Maybe some, I think it's 4 in most cases, like the Stinson I think are 4.
Yeah, I think they're hovering around 4. I like a little bit of drop and a decent amount of cushion. So that's what works for me. And I think you're right. Doing it gradual, just so you're not shocking the system, shocking the body is a good way to go about if you're going to give it a try.
Any aspirations to run up in Leadville or any Colorado races? This is from Nick Young.
Nick Young. Yeah, right. I've heard definitely Leadville is a popular race. I'm going to try to do a lot of races on the Sky Running series this year, both
cool.
The World and Series. So we've got on the World Sky Running Ultra Series, we've got Speed Goat, and then we also have the Rut up here in Montana, and then on the U.S. Series and that.
Angel Staircase, I know that.
Yeah, Angel Staircase. I'm signed up for that right now, and then we'll see how the body's feeling. If I can still go rock another month and go in October and do the one down in Flagstaff, outside of Flagstaff there. So.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so lots of climbing, lots of sky running, so that'll be really fun this year.
Yeah, Leadville, for also to answer your question, Nick, Leadville, I feel like a couple years ago it was 100 that I wanted to do, and based off of stories I've heard of the last couple years, it terrifies me just the number of people that run it. It seems like it can be a little overwhelming. So while it is still 100 that I think I would like to do someday because it poses so many challenges, Hope Pass and at altitude, I do so terribly at altitude that I'm like, of course I want to do it. It's a challenge. So it might be something that I add to the list at some point, but I don't know if it would be my first 100. But who knows? I know that it's beautiful up there. The mountain ranges up there look incredible, so that alone would be a draw for me. Running the Mizuno Wave Universe, it's less than 3 ounces. That is a light freaking shoe. Any international races planned for the future, Jeremy?
Yeah, keeping it domestic this year, and then yeah, next year we'll just, I'm pretty new to this, so we'll see kind of how I stack up against I guess some of the competition, the bigger races this year, and if if I do okay, then maybe we'll try to go do some sky running races next year. Lavaredo is actually going on at the end of this month, and that went through a lot of the similar areas that were in our Dolomite video. So it would be really cool to go back there when there's not 3 feet of snow on the trail and race it and see the people out there cheering you on. So yeah, let's put Lavaredo up on #1 for the list of international races.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's see, speaking about Flagstaff from Sam Giroux, any talk about Vargo's win this weekend? Oh yeah, Chris Vargo, buddy of mine, friend of the show, won the Cayuga 50-mile trail race this weekend, which is a US ATF, I believe it's their championship.
Yeah, 50-mile trail championship.
So he won that, and it looked like it was a really pretty brutal day out there, pretty warm at later into the race, and it seemed to clobber up a lot of people, but he managed to pull out the win. So I can't wait to get him on the show. He's always busy on Monday nights. I've been wanting to talk to him about training for that and then racing it, and obviously he won it, so now we have to talk to him about winning it. Can the type of socks you wear help in transitioning to lower drops, says Saber King 1992? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the no.
I'm going to go with the no as well. Because I think socks are just what they are. They're just socks. I mean, they're just going to give you an additional layer of fabric between you and the shoe. That's about it. If you from Supa G or Sup G, have you ever sprained an ankle? If so, how long did you recoup? Any ankle injuries, Jeremy?
Yeah, you just definitely rolled the ankles. And it just depends. Sometimes they spring right back and you're just walking it off for a minute, and then sometimes you're walking all the way back home for miles, and you're off or running for days. So yeah, there's definitely different severity, but I think I found that kind of the more I roll my ankles, the more they get used to being rolled and the quicker they spring back. So you kind of just get kind of rubbery ankles a little bit, and they're just kind of get used to getting rolled. It's never fun, but I think they kind of adapt a little bit to getting rolled and then recovering. But yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it just happened on my run yesterday. I rolled my left ankle, which I normally don't do. I normally roll my right one for some reason. But I agree. Like the more you do it, the more rubbery that your ankles seem to get. They kind of bounce back. I've rolled it a number of times, both my ankles a number of times, but I've been able to run it off. Like you'll roll and go, oh fuck, and you'll kind of like walk a couple steps and run, and then go, well, I'm running, so I'm gonna keep running. But then you'll feel it like the next day. Like today, I have a little bit of sensitivity in some of my tendons along my outer calf, but that's it. So it hasn't taken me out for that long, which has been good. So I'm knocking on wood that doesn't happen ever. Because yeah, I feel like trail running, you're gonna roll your ankle. It's just gonna happen. From Chris Dills, what has Sally McRae been running here lately? Tons of miles, Chris. Sally, another friend of the show, will be running Western States in a couple of months. Have you done Western, Jeremy, or have you been there?
No, man. Never been. Like I said, 50K is as far as I've gone. So I haven't done Western. I'm just looking at 50
any
miles.
Desire?
No, I just got to get to 50 miles would be first before that. Yeah, kind of what's my appetite for anything longer. So I got to I might not do a 50 till maybe North Face at the end of the year. So I guess ask me then if I have any desire to double that and then go for 100.
I'll be at the 50 miler in December, so hopefully I'll see you there.
Yeah.
From Jake Condren, I run multiple half marathons and 25K trail runs, but I'm wanting to move into ultras. Would you definitely recommend moving to marathons first, then 50K, or can you make the jump in transition just to 50K? Jeremy, any?
I would just say go for it, man. Before I raced a 50K, my longest race before then was a half marathon. So it's really just it's a mental switch. You just got to kind of hang out with people who like ultras. You got to absorb the ultra scene, reading, watching Ethan's show, and just kind of you get mentally like, okay, I can go do a 50K, and you can go do it. So if you're running those races, you're more than capable of jumping into a 50K, man. So just sign up for one, go do it, and have a blast, and you'll wish you would have done it sooner.
Yeah, I totally agree. Earlier in my running career, I would have said, yes, you got to do a road marathon or do a marathon distance before you move into the 50K. But the truth be told is, like, the more you run, the more whatever race you choose to run, you're going to have to train for it. It's not like you can sign up for a 50K and train only for a half marathon. It's like you're going to end up training for the 50K. So you'll be ready for it. And definitely when you start getting into the ultra land, 50K, 50 miler and beyond, it becomes a huge mental game. So you're really going to want to train, your mind to be okay with hurting and be okay with pain and just know that you'll be able to run the distance. So that's the only reason why I would recommend running a marathon or running, longer distance first, is just to train your mind. That's essentially what you're doing, is pushing through that barrier of bonking and all that kind of stuff, and knowing that you can continue to push on beyond that. But if you don't want to sign up for a marathon, don't do it. Just go 50K. I mean, I don't want to say go run a 50 miler without first running some longer races, but I know one or two people that have done that. They've really hurt themselves and they haven't had a great time, or they didn't have a great time during the 50-mile race, but they were able to finish. It all comes down to training and what you train for. Yeah, and Thad Sweet in the chat room agrees. I think you can make the jump straight to 50Ks. I did. The training is very similar. Yeah, you're just gonna, depending on what the race is, you're going to want to study the profile, if there's elevation, if there's anything like that. Ben Fox says, I have never lost a toenail, but my running partner loses them all the time, and we wear the same Newtons. Any idea why? Yeah, you have different feet. You and your friend have different feet, and so different feet will react to different things differently. Different shoes, even if they're the same shoes, they'll react to the same shoes differently. It could be a running gait thing. It could be he just has real sensitive toenails. Maybe the socks are different. I don't know. Have you ever lost a toenail, Jeremy? I feel like that's like an ultra welcome to the world of ultras, is when you lose your first toenail.
Yeah, right. You lose them and no rhyme or reason. I mean, you can wear the same shoe for training runs and all of a sudden you show up to a race and just more downhill or whatever, and you take off your shoe and your toenails, black. So, yeah, just part of it. And yeah, it doesn't really bother me. They grow back eventually. So, I guess you could try, if you're losing them, maybe you need a half size bigger or something like that if it's happened really routinely, because you're just jamming up against the edge of the shoe there. But yeah, I think part of it too is just the nature of running ultras, is your toes take a beating.
This is from Raul Engel. What was your Ragnar team name behind you?
Let's see. I think you'll like this one. This is back in my SoCal days. See if you can see it here. The name is Our Drinking Team Has a Running Problem.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I haven't done a Ragnar in years. I really want to get back into it. Just the idea. I mean, this kind of actually goes back to the Dolomites and to the Patagonia film. It's running with friends. There's something about running with friends and running with a group of people that you enjoy the company of. It helps make it that much more enjoyable and that much more of an adventure and an experience to remember. And so yeah, the Ragnar, I imagine, was a lot of fun. Sounds like you guys drank, which is great.
Yeah, that was with a bunch of guys who weren't runners first. They were into other things, so it was for fun.
Barry S says, my toenails look like shit. So do mine. I think that's just a part of it. I was actually looking at them the other day and I was like, holy crap, my toenails look like shit. They look terrible. All right. Well, any last words, Jeremy? Any last thoughts for people? Remind people where they can find you online and where they can find the film.
Yeah, no, I do want to echo, because I mean I didn't say it well enough before. Is just, I mean, this film was captured really through Joel's eye, and so we want to give Joel Wolpert just a lot of credit for, having that artistic. The guy is, it's not this. When at the end of the day, it's not a technical thing about aperture and speeds and shutters and all that stuff. It's like, Joel is an artist, and I think in around Patagonia you'll definitely see just his artistic flair, and even he's an artist by not adding things to the movie, by just being minimalist and letting just the video play at times, and just things kind of will absorb and kind of come into their own. So even being minimalist and not doing a lot of editing, but just showing the raw video is a great artistic way to kind of get points across to it in a subtle way. So. Yeah, lots of credit with Joel, and it was an interesting dynamic. He came in with Jason and I, we had this long history, and then all of a sudden here comes Joel, who we just met at the Atlanta airport, who's going to spend 2 weeks with us. So, he was able to gel in with Jason and I, who had this long history, and kind of, not just be there a fly on the wall filming it, but kind of we enjoyed the trip with Joel too. And so all together we shared a good memories and good experience of the trip. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Joel. And the guy's brilliant, and you'll see a lot more good work from him too. So anyway, yeah, website, check us out, schlarb.com for all our latest videos. And hopefully, next winter, July-ish, we'll go somewhere else. Make another film coming out about a year from now probably. And cool. And then yeah, we're putting the film into some. I'm going to enter in the Banff Film Festival this year. Trails in Motion asked for it, so we're going to submit to that. So. Yeah, hopefully people like it, and I'll make kind of the trail running circuit that's popping up, and the whole kind of trail running film thing is exploding right now. So we'll see. It's gaining popularity. We'll just kind of see where it goes, but it's going to go up. Just how fast, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, I love it, and I totally agree. Being every race video that I post, any film that I post from any of my races, they do gangbusters because people just love watching running, which is it blows my mind. I'm like, I use it as a way to document my races and kind of look back and my experiences, and especially into the ultra scene, I want to consistently remind myself, like, you've done this distance before, you can do it again, it's okay. Remind myself that I'll be able to get through these races. But the popularity is booming, and I love it, and I love that we're at the forefront of it and shaping it. So congratulations, man. The film is beautiful. It's extremely well done, and you guys are really, really talented, and can't wait to see what else happens with Schlarb Wolf. So please keep me posted, even if it's just an email or something like, hey, we're working on this. I'm happy to share the news with the fans and the people who follow the Ginger Runner stuff, just because they'll want to see it. Really, really exciting. So yeah, go to schlarbwolf.com, go to @SchlarBwolf, follow them there. You can follow these guys on their Twitters as well, @JeremyWolfRun and @Jason Schlarb. And really, really great to have you guys on the show. So thank you so much for dropping by. Appreciate it, Jeremy.
Yeah, awesome venue you got here, Ethan. Thanks. I mean, this wouldn't happen without you, man. So thanks for being who you are and having the online stuff to let guys like us come on and chat about it. So it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. If there's anything I can do to help, but it's like, this is what I know. Like, I know the online side of things, and as I run more and more, I try to work on the ability to run further, faster, and all that stuff. But I know this side of things. It's the running stuff that I'm still working on. So appreciate you guys stopping by. And don't forget, to those of you who are watching live, you can find this as a podcast version. I'll be uploading it in the next couple of days. Just go to iTunes and search Ginger Runner. You can also go to gingerrunner.com. I'll have it there listed, and you can go watch some of my other reviews or race films or any of that good stuff. A lot of exciting stuff happening on that end in the next, actually, like, month or two, which is really exciting. And I have some new gear that I'm going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks as well, including a custom train race beer buff, which I'm really excited about. So hopefully people will start rocking that on the trails. It's going to be great. So thank you guys so much for tuning in live. We'll see you guys next week, Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be coming to you live from Vancouver, British Columbia. Hopefully not covered in dirt from the trails, because I'll be living it up in the high country up there. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace out.